Man, we're about to be done with this tragic past of this one character. And who would have thought that this character right here, Kuma, Bartholomew Kuma, will have this much of a tragic past than anybody else in the One Piece series. Now let's start this off. One Piece chapter 1101, titled Dear Bonney. And leaving off where we actually left off is where Kuma sees or is watching Luffy train. And this is where I would say the beginning where Luffy left after he's done training. 3 years ago, Mount Kolobo Kingdom of the Goa East Blue. And this is where Luffy's training his moves or his move sets, and him saying gum gum axe, which you see Kuma hiding in the trees in the woods observing Luffy train, and Kuma just thinks back on the conversation with Dragon, remembering Dragon, you seem familiar with this island. Not only that, but I noticed when you snuck off to the outskirts to check on that little village earlier, there was this young boy. Dragon knows who that is, and Kuma is piecing the puzzles together, and Dragon says to that, if you keep talking about this, you may as well kill me yourself. And then Kuma takes that as a surprise. It's like, what? What do you mean? A child is their parents' weak spot. And Kuma realizes that and says, I'm sorry, I forget what I just saw. So if you use Luffy as a, or if the government knew that Dragon's revolutionary and he has a son, it can easily go to that island and, let's just say, take him hostage and put him impaled down, or do what they did with Ace, Portgasty Ace, Roger's son, hold him up for execution. And then that will force Dragon to come out of hiding and, rescue his son. But will he come out just for Luffy? That's the main concern. Will he do what Whitebeard did when Ace was held captive, or will Dragon do the opposite of what Whitebeard did and not do nothing? But instead, this will just not inflame him, but ignite his, or But Kuma says, watching there silently, and while Luffy says, toss himself, well, awesome finishing move. I'll save it for when I'm up against a super strong enemy after I set sail and get my crew. Which, if you didn't realize that he ends up using that technique, that very same technique, the battle axe, or axe, he used that on, let's just say, Arlong, doing the Arlong art, or And then Luffy said, I gotta be ready for when someone tries to take them away. I won't ever let that happen, but if anyone tries, blam, I give him a gum axe to the face. And then he realized that Luffy is training, but what he's training against, he's training against the beasts that's in the woods or in the forest. Giant and dangerous ones, bigger than him. But this is when Luffy is 16 years old. So at age 17, that's when the One Piece would kick off, and that's when Luffy starts sailing sail, and then boom, bam, episode 1. But Kuma gets a call and then disappears. But Luffy almost caught who was also there, so realize that Luffy doesn't know who Kuma is, but doesn't know who's watching him. But Luffy did say that was weird. I felt like someone was just there watching me. But he did pick up that someone was stronger than him that disappeared. So it did give him some chills. Now Luffy resolves his training by beating up everyone that's on that island. So he's basically training himself up until he hits age 17. Then he leaves. And then we move back to some part of the world where Kuma is resuming his duties as a warlord in the out in sea in the East Blue. I think that's where he is. Now, Kuma fights the pirates, and they said they came out of nowhere. We need to get the winner to the nearest hospital. But the government says, Kuma, come in. What are you doing? And Kuma responds immediately. But they keep getting touched while Kuma ignores it, and then because Kuma is helping out his crewmates fight off the pirates because one of them are injured. And then Kuma responds, "Turn yourselves in." And then they say, "Wait, we didn't mean nothing by it. We'll get everything back. Everybody fork over all your loot. Ain't worth our lives." And then this is where Kuma starts writing his letters to Kuma. It reads, "Dear Bonney, the world is full of beauty that can't be captured in photo or picture books," which is true. "I long to see your bright smiling face as you experience such wonders for yourself." Now, meanwhile, back in the Kingdom Sorbet, I read this chapter, and this infuriates me. This woman right here. Is it here yet? Is it here yet? And Bonney here keeps checking if send letters, but what she doesn't know that the government there, one of the CP agents, or intercepting those letters. And who gets some letters? Well, it shows that little agent, that one a CP, I won't say CP9, but I think it was CP8 or 7. I might check on that. But it says, shows one news crew drop off a newsletter and a letter from Kuma. She said, "What we have here, a newspaper and another heartwarming letter. And then put this in the church's mailbox." And one soldier says, "Yes, ma'am." And she comes back with they bring the newsletter or newspaper. She starts saying, "Another one? Yep. How many does this make?" He's saying around 10 a month, so that's a fair few. And says, "How's he even finding so much to write about?" And it says, the letter says, "To Bonney." And she just rips us up. Oh my goodness. How can you do this? You so cruel. And the letter also is, "One last thing, Bonney. And you're probably sick of me saying this, but I love you so much. I'll be sure to write again soon." Now, if you remember, how many did she rip up? She kept ripping them up, I'll tell you that. So, remember, the government is there on the island supervising Kuma. So, there wasn't any time for her to double check. So, it's the government that's intercepting the letter, based on what I'm trying to say. But she keeps the person that's dressed as a nurse kept ripping up the letters, but she's not letting them write back and responding and shit. But as soon as Bonney was trying to not fight, but train, one of the agents come in and she almost sees Bonney in her buff form using her devil fruit, but she just says, "You know what? Never mind. Thought there was something. She was just hallucinated." Good thing though, cause boy, and let me just tell you this: she is evil. I will say that. Don't care what nobody else say. I can't wait for the day when Dragon takes down the Terabito system and the government. That shit is coming. They have this coming for a long time. Now, back at the Navy Science Division, lab number 8, someone says, "Amazing, Doctor. I can't believe you did it. Now we just have to lift the brain and lab using the island cloud." Now, as you wondering, yes, Vegapunk did cut his head or his brain in half. So that's where he got his satellites, his 8 satellite. I think it's 8, either that or 7. And Vegapunk says, "About half of what you see here is holographic. I had planned for Punk Hazard to be like this too, you know." Then Stussy's there talking too. So she says, "I must admit that cut suits you." And Vegapunk says, "I feel light as a feather," which that's kind of strange, Susie's being there, considering she knows Vegapunk. She does have connections though to be there too. Wonder if that's how she became CP0 though. I wonder if she's CP0 now instead of CP9. But she says, "Kuma, I heard you are going to lose your sense of individuality. I wonder which of us has the most checkered fate, the human that lacks free will or the clone that doesn't." The Vegapunk tells Susie, "Knock it off, Susie. You're just as human as the rest of us." That's right, you're not controlled. You're not the one in the damn bed over there hooked up to random ass machines, you know. But anyway, what exactly should I expect when my personality is erased is what Kuma says. Dr. Vegapunk says, "I'll put it like this. You may already have a reputation for being totally obedient, but what you do if you were asked to kill a child." Which you gotta remember, once Kuma doesn't have a lot of time. So the deadline for Kuma's erased personality is about to come up. don't know when, but it's coming up soon. So then Vegapunk says, what it means is you'll lose not only your memories, but any empathy or humanity holding you back from fulfilling such a command. I will say this, his power does somewhat alleviate that condition by implanting memories into the bubble. But we don't know that for sure if that actually happens. But we'll see in next chapter, wherever it happens. Then Vegapunk said, that being said, you should retain some degree of free will until the progress is fully complete. That will give you roughly one more year. So Vegapunk is trying to say, so go ahead or make preparations for when this time is coming. We will have a backup plan just in case that one of the governments or Saint Saturn was saying something, just erase you complete while he's watching. So we will have a backup plan just in case for when your personality is completely light. You will have like 1 or 2 commands you will fulfill unconsciously or wherever happens. Well, Kuma says, I'll keep writing until I run out of time. And then Kuma says, Bonney deserves to know how I feel. I want to send her a whole lifetime's worth of love before this year is over. So deadline for that is 1 more year. So we do have a year. That's the deadline. And Susie says, oh, how sweet. Yeah, you don't care. Ugh. And now back to Sorbet Kingdom or Dr. Vegapunk. Bonney, almost 9 now. It's wonder how big she's gotten. You think she's changed a lot? I don't think when you get this better. But, happy birthday. I'm back at Vegapunk's lab. Things are busy around here, is what he's wrote in the letter. Back at the Sorbet Kingdom, she's turned 9 and it's her birthday. And everybody's saying, happy birthday, Bonney. Congratulations. And then one of Granny Connie made an extra special giant pizza for you. And she starts eating it. And then every single time she searches for the letter, day in, day out. And let me just tell you this. The government is doing that. They're intercepting the letter, ripping them up so they won't make any contact. That's what they said. And you can tell that from the last chapter and the chapter before that. The government has no way of letting them contact each other. No way. Because there's some snakes, of course. And then Bonnie sits there and cries and says, Daddy, I'm 9 now. You say you right. Now, back at Dragon's Place, the Revolution Army in Baltigo. And so another half a year passed without a single letter reaching the church. Kuma came to the rescue again. Yeah, it's just like all those other times the Revolution Force were on the ropes. Then he swooped in and saved us at the last minute. After that, he left without a single word or saying a word. That's because Kuma's individuality is about to come up, son and daughters, or everyone. If Kuma wishes not to be followed, we have to respect that. And you just see the panel where Kuma comes in and saves everybody and leaves without saying a word. And Dragon respects his decision to keep it in the dark, because if they find out, they might jump. Now, back at the Baltigor, not Baltigor, but Sorbet Kingdom. Everybody, she says, I'm all better. Look, the stones are completely gone. I can finally go outside. And then one of the CP people, or the leader, says, not a chance, Bonney-chan. You must stay put. We've been told to keep you under close supervision until your 10th birthday. And Bonney screams at you, say, you liar. Vegapunk said I'd be fine after a year. And that was a year ago. Fishy, huh? And the nurse says, I forbid it. Alpha and then Connie speaks up. Alpha and the others are government intelligence agents. And then she was telling the rest of the people that in the Sorbet and Bonney that too. And this is where I kind of called it. They let us slip while they were getting drinks in the town. Apparently your deceased has been killed for a while now. And they're shocked about that, which I kind of knew. Is trying to keep both her and Kuma separate. And they have specific orders to keep them separate so not one of them can do nothing about it or get back together again. Connie says, I already sorted everything out with Goa and the others. Head for the port, Bonney. Sail the seas and go find your father. Can I really go? And Connie says, I'm going back to the palace. I see. Take care. And she leaves in her adult form, as you can see, or not adult form. It looks like adult form, but I think is kid form, I think. I don't know. But she disguised herself as Connie, which that's surprising. So this is the outside world. and you just see Bonney just traveling under the sun again, which I'm very happy for her. Traveling under the sun, getting that radiant sun. You know, look at the sun. There's the sun. Bonney actually is walking outside. It's a miracle that there really is a God. Never thought I'd see the day. Finally reaches the port, sees the boat, and that's her pirate ship, and one of them screams, "Bonney, over here, tots and potatoes. Look, everyone, I'm really outside." And then scream back at the church, "Where's Bonney? I just saw the Queen Dowager outside. What the hell's going on here?" "It's me, Bonney. You lying old prune." And she dashes out to go get Bonney, or go capture Bonney and bring it back. And looking back, Bonney says, "Set sail, and we made the ship look like a pizza for you." Now, as they set sail, you see one of CP agents leader, the nurse Alpha, charges towards them, and she says, Hold it right there. You think you can get away from me? I'll beat you to within an inch of your life. Enough of this charade. I'll keep you chained up day in, day night. That will make things much easier." As soon as she launches into the air, Bonney uses her devil fruit, larges her hand, and smacks her with what looks like a gum pistol, looks like, or giant pistol, looks like it. They self-sell, and the government finds out. That the government will soon receive word that their hostage Bonney escaped to find her father. Like Luffy and the others, her vessel would gain fame. It would go from a humble fishing boat to an infamous pirate ship in a new era. A young girl heading for the future. End of chapter of 1. Boom, bam, boom. What an interesting chapter. I kind of knew for the jump that the government would keep them separated, and I don't know. It's kind of whew. Oh boy. After this chapter, I was just looking at the comments of this chapter, and just, boy, you just have one person read. Just let her read the damn letter, man. Alpha, you sick son of a bitch. Can't have one child read a damn letter. Sick. So is just serving the government agents too. So at least Kizaru will have some heart, but damn. Well, that's the end of the chapter, guys. Like and comment and subscribe. And see you soon, and have a good day.